have been opened, but usually we have exhibitions which describe a country, a capital, or an area, but it's exceptional when the exhibition concentrates on one specific person. Jawaharlal Nehru visited Denmark in 1957, and here, as well as all over the world, the memories of Nehru's life and times makes it obvious to celebrate the centenary of Nehru's birth, and I can assure you that we are very proud to present this exhibition at the City Hall. We like to think that such arrangements also contribute to better relations and understanding amongst people, and it was, as you know, also one of Nehru's major issues. On this exhibition, I must admit that I have cheated a little bit because I've had the occasion earlier today to look around, and from what I have seen, I feel sure that the City Hall during the next 10 days will be very well attended, and the exhibition certainly deserves it. Anyway, I shall not use more of your time, but pass over the word to the Danish Minister of Education, Mr. Bertel Haarder.
Mr. Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I'm grateful and honored that His Excellency the Ambassador of India, Mr. R.C. Shukla, has requested me to be present on this occasion and to say a few words. On the cover of the brochure about this exhibition, we read the following quotation: "The story of Nehru is also a story of India, for in the minds of men, Nehru and India have become one." While his life's labor was for his people and their freedom, his vision was one of a world without poverty or fear and blessed with peace. This is very well phrased. I could not agree more. Although I belong to a generation whose adult life has fallen after the period of Nero's death, I have studied his life and his influence on India and world politics. This year, 1989, marks the centenary of the birth of Jawaharlal Nehru. It also marks the 25th anniversary of his death. But he is still widely admired and respected in Denmark and indeed throughout the world. It is therefore very appropriate that the government of India has arranged for this exhibition this year, as well as for the release of the Danish translation of the Prime Minister's book, The Discovery of India, earlier this year. In Denmark, we recall with respect Nehru's and Gandhi's efforts to bring independence to India, achieved by a policy of non-violence and non-cooperation. These two great leaders and their followers set an important example for people in the rest of the world. As Mahatma Gandhi became a symbol of the urge for freedom of the dependent peoples during the interwar period, modern India and her flourishing development are inseparably associated with the first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. We recall with admiration and respect how he succeeded in establishing and consolidating the democratic form of government in this vast country. We shall never forget the Prime Minister's prominent role on the international scene in the far-reaching process of liberation of the peoples of Asia and Africa, which is one of the most outstanding features of the post-war period. It was a natural consequence of his philosophy and political aims that he lent his full support to the United Nations and wholeheartedly endorsed the World Organization's efforts to safeguard peace and liberty. Jawaharlal Nehru was not only one of the most prominent political leaders of the 20th century, but also a great individual whose humanistic outlook reflected the noble ideals which are rooted in India's rich and ancient culture. His dynamic personality, his far-sightedness and wisdom, and not least his practical achievements, secured for Jawaharlal Nehru an important place in modern history. It is my hope and expectation that this exhibition of the life and times of Jawaharlal Nehru will be visited by a large number of people, thus contributing to a better understanding of India. Thank you.
Mr. Minister, Mr. Mayor, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank you all for sparing some time this afternoon to be here at the opening of this exhibition. This is one of the 5 sets put together by the Ministry of External Affairs of the Government of India during this Nehru birth centenary year, and it's being shown in major cities of the world. The idea is to bring to the notice of people once again Pandit Nehru's life, his work, and his contribution. While he is undoubtedly recognized as a great national leader of India, one might say that perhaps his contribution as an international statesman is not yet fully appreciated. His contribution was as great as that of other contemporary statesmen of his. If I may briefly mention 3 items. First of all, his contribution was nurturing democracy in India. You can imagine that if India had adopted any other system of government, what could have happened to the world. His second contribution was fostering the concept of non-alignment in cooperation with President Nasser and President Tito. That enabled the newly emerging nations to find a third option and prevented the world from freezing into 2 mutually hostile blocs. Third contribution, if I may say so, was his decision to keep India within the Commonwealth of Nations even when it became a republic. So now we have an informal grouping of 45 countries which, having different cultural backgrounds, different geographical areas, still meet informally and make their own contribution to the solution of, or at least discussion of, international issues. So I think these are some of his major contributions, and it is our hope that those who come, it's my hope that they'll come in large numbers. Those who come to see this exhibition will think something about what he has done. And finally, I would like to thank you all once again.